My wife was dragged away by fake cops. Turns out, she was a deep cover agent and I was the last to know. I never thought I'd witness my wife being dragged off our porch by two men in fake police gear while I stood there in boxers, holding a garden hose and half a donut. But that's exactly what happened one Tuesday morning in Jefferson Pines. A neighborhood so quiet you could hear the grass grow. At first, I thought it was some elaborate prank. I mean, who wears neighborhood enforcement division vests and carries a spray-painted Nerf gun? But then I looked at my wife, Claire, and she wasn't afraid. She looked amused, calm, like she'd seen this exact scene before. "You guys are about to screw up in ways you can't imagine," she said, cool as ice, right before tapping something on her smartwatch. 3 seconds later, a dog barked down the street. 5 seconds after that, a matte black SUV, which definitely hadn't been parked there before, vanished without a sound. That's when it hit me. I didn't really know who I was married to. 2 weeks earlier, the whole mess started with our neighborhood HOA, or rather, what called itself the HOA. It wasn't a real association, just one guy named Dennis Miller who printed fake citations and hosted emergency meetings that nobody showed up for. Think middle-aged suburban dictator with a Costco laminator. For years, I let him play sheriff. But lately, he'd been targeting Claire. First, he taped a warning on our door, claiming our Ring camera violated neighborhood surveillance laws. Then, he cited her for planting non-native tulips in the front yard. The final straw? A typed note on our trash bin that said, "We are watching. Comply or face community action." Tatifiu. Creepy, right? I showed Claire, expecting her to finally call the real police. Instead, she just looked at it, nodded, and said, "Okay, it's time." Then she started inspecting our garage, not for tools or anything, but for tactical entry points, angles of visibility, line of sight. She scribbled things on a yellow pad and muttered stuff like perimeter breach protocol. I asked what she was doing. She kissed my cheek and said, "Nothing you need to worry about, baby." That was unsettling. Then it all blew up. Friday morning, I was watering the lawn in my pajamas. A beat-up Suburban rolls in like it's straight out of a bad cop show. Two guys hop out in matching HOA tactical response gear and walk right past me without a word. No knock, no warning. They just grab Claire off the porch. I yelled. One of them flashed a badge. It looked like something from a Halloween store, and said, "This is HOA enforcement business. Step back." Claire just looked at me and said, "They're not real cops, but someone real is watching." Then she tapped her watch again. They shoved her into the SUV and drove off. I ran after it, phone in hand, about to call 911. But before I could dial, an unknown number lit up my screen. "She's safe," a calm voice said. "Stay inside and away from the windows." Then the line went dead. The folder. When I got back inside, shaking and in total panic, I saw it. A manila folder on the kitchen counter. On top, a sticky note. "Open if things get weird." Inside were maps of our street, detailed notes on Dennis and his so-called officers, timelines, surveillance screenshots, and a full extraction plan labeled "In case of capture. 4-minute delay required." That's when I realized something horrifying. Claire knew this was coming. The fallout. What followed was like something out of a spy movie. A black van rolled into the cul-de-sac. Dog walkers, turned into tactical agents. A landscaping truck parked outside Dennis's house. And Claire? She was no victim. She was bait. The garage Dennis called Central Command was raided in under 2 minutes. The fake officers were zip-tied and led away. No sirens, no screaming, just clean, clinical silence. And Claire? She stood there in the driveway, looking like she'd just finished a yoga session. Perfectly calm. Perfectly in control. What I didn't know. Claire was a retired field analyst for a federal agency. I still don't know which one. She'd left that life years ago for something normal. But people like Dennis, paranoid, power-hungry, and dangerous, don't let people like her stay normal. Turns out, this HOA wasn't just a nuisance. Dennis had been collecting private data from neighbors through smart devices, selling it to offshore buyers through encrypted channels. He had files on everyone: tax returns, phone records, security footage, even me. When Claire saw my name on one of the files, she went ice cold. That was the moment I realized this wasn't just about protecting the neighborhood. This was personal. The final confrontation. She returned home 2 days later with dark circles under her eyes and a manila envelope in her hand. Inside, a federal summons for Dennis. She walked right up to his door and handed it to him. He looked confused, then terrified. She said just one thing. "You're done, but here's where it gets complicated." The real controversy? I had no idea who my wife really was. For 7 years, I thought I married a nonprofit worker who made amazing lasagna. But she'd lived a life I couldn't even comprehend, and never told me. When I asked why, she said, "Because I wanted to be yours, not theirs. But I guess that life never really lets go." That line hit me hard. Should she have told me? Should I be angry? Or was she protecting me in the only way she knew how? So what now? She's gone again, this time to Washington, chasing down the rest of the network. She left behind one message: "If I don't come back, release the file." Every night, I sit on our porch, watching the street like it's a chessboard. I see strangers. Some stay too long. Some glance a little too often. I don't know if they're threats or her people. All I know is, whatever war she's fighting out there, it started on my front lawn. And I was the last to know. Now, tell me, if your partner kept an entire identity secret from you for years, but it turned out they were protecting you, would you forgive them? Or would you feel betrayed? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think she did the right thing? Or was this too far? Let's talk about trust, secrets, and the blurred lines between love and deception. And if you think this story is insane, wait till you hear what happened when the HOA tried to shut down a birthday party. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Because we're just getting started.